So in this video, I wanted to look at the Ethereum Hello World and the EOS Hello World and kind of show you the differences. Obviously, you could do this yourself as well, and I do actually recommend it because quite frequently in the Telegram, you'll see developers asking about porting their Ethereum code over to EOS. So I think it would be a very good skill for a new EOS developer to know how to at least look at Solidity code and actually understand what's going on here. So what I've done is I pulled in the Ethereum Hello World up here on top, and all it is it's pretty basic smart contract. It takes in the string that you're going to be greeting a user. In this case, it would be Hello World. So we don't even need to set that in the constructor, and then it gives you this function, greet function, that returns the greeting and stores it locally. One thing to note is they have this contract mortal thing, which allows you to destroy the contract when you're done with it. That has been one of the kind of complaints about EOS is it doesn't exist, at least to my knowledge currently, a way of destroying a smart contract. So you have to add that yourself, whereby you'd write some sort of method very similar to this high method, call it destroy, and in here you would delete all the rows that you've used up to this point. In this case, there aren't any rows, so you don't need to worry about that. And then finally actually destroy the smart contract when you're done with it. Set it to null, or some other address is what I've been hearing people talk about. But with Ethereum, you can see it's built right in because they found that they have this need to be able to destroy a smart contract when it's done. So really, I mean, you can see here there's not huge difference between the two in this case. They're both pretty simple smart contracts, but there's a little bit of magic going on here in the EOS case with the macro here and then the macro here as well. And then also the constructor is taken care of using contract, : contract, whereas you have to explicitly define the constructor up here. Again, they did give you this mortal thing by default as well. While looking at the documentation, so it looks like the documentation's been updated since the last time I went through it. They mentioned using Remix, and I wanted to point out that EOS has a very similar thing to Remix here. It maybe doesn't look nearly as good as Remix, but it has very much the same functionalities here, so I figured I would point that out to you while we're looking at comparing the two contracts. Another thing that I wanted to point out is the fact that we're using these account names, so you don't really have to bother yourself with addresses and knowing where the contract got sent to, because you have control over that as the developer. So that's kind of a useful thing. Like whenever you're interacting with a contract, you don't need to load up the address, you can load up the name. As we saw while I was looking at the if we go into smart contracts, into the node code, which I don't know, depending on the order of how I put these videos, you may not be seeing this, but maybe a future video, just know that we do talk about JavaScript. You can see here that we're actually just passing in the account names here, and we're not concerned with addresses in any way. Another thing is you have to pass people the ABI in Ethereum, and you can see here we're not doing anything with the ABIs at all, so it makes client-side development much easier in EOS land versus Ethereum. I think that's kind of everything I wanted to cover in this short video. And the next, what I'm planning on doing is going through both the cryptocurrency contract for both EOS and Ethereum, and then I think also I'll write up the address book example to show you how to do essentially CRUD applications in Ethereum, and then the exact same syntax to do that in EOS, which we've already seen. Okay, see you in the next video.